Okay guys, quick update with Bitcoin. I'm going to try to keep this one a little shorter. It seems like when I make longer videos that you guys do not watch the whole video and you miss out on key information. If you did watch the previous video, I made it very clear that I was in a long hedge. This was the previous video. I'll put a link up to it now if you want to check it out. It was 4 minutes, 23 seconds in. I said it was very possible we could see some upside. That's why I was in a long hedge. In that same video, this was 12 minutes 30 seconds in. I was telling you how high we could go, that we were in a large rising wedge and potentially that would be the top. You can see right down here 37,500. We did push up to 38,000. Guys, I do have some of the most accurate charts if you swing trade or if you use leverage. Notice we got topped out right at this point. This is the M1 chart. I'm going to give you some key support resistance levels. I'm going to show you the rings, how far away we are. And remember guys, the last video I said expect some upside. I gave you that upside target. Some people made some comments about my rings are broke and that they counter trade me. Well, if you counter traded my last video, I said expect upside. So you went short and screwed up. So do watch what I'm trying to tell you. And we're getting close to a big move. This is a published version of the chart I'm showing you right here, this M1 chart. See this yellow line right here? There's a fifth channel line, just have it outlined so it stands out more. Notice we got topped out right 37,876. This is a published version of this chart, published on September 14th. It's going to hit play so you can see. Notice we came up and we got rejected right at this line. This is that ring I'm saying if we cross, we'll get a major dump. Take note of this line right here. We're going to cover that. And again, I'll give you some key support and resistance levels if you want to swing trade, but we are getting close to that big move soon. And remember, I told you if we get above the blue ring, expect a massive pump. If we cross the orange ring, we'll get a massive dump. If you want to get into leverage trading, guys, I use BitGet, love the platform. If you want to sign up, my link's pinned in the first comment description. This is the tutorial video I put up teaching you how to open a long, a short, set a stop loss, do trigger orders. You need to be prepared for this big move. It is coming soon, so I'd go ahead and create an account now if I were you. If you want to watch this video, this tutorial how to trade, I'll put a link up to it now. And keep in mind, if you're located in the US, I do have two options for you, BingX and CoinCatch. Those links are pinned in the first comment description as well. So this chart right here, the M1 chart, I added these lines. So if you do sign up to get access to these charts, which you can by website, the link's opticalcrypto.com. It's pinned in the first comment description. You get access to this Discord and to these live charts. But notice we topped out at 37,876. So this line here is a very important line, this white line right here, and this yellow line right here, which we did get topped out at. Now we could push up more, we could drop more. I'll give you these levels and I'll show you this ring. But the reason I was talking about we could push up to 37,500 was based on this rising wedge. And we're going to cover this chart. Again, I'm going to try to be quick about it. But this is the top of the wedge right here. This is the top of this rising wedge. That's why I said we could push up to test that point. So obviously if we get above and hold above 37,500, more likely we're going to push up and cross this ring. And as I said, if I zoom out, every time we've crossed one of these damn blue rings, we always get a pump. You can clearly see that. We crossed it here, we got a pump. We crossed it here, we got a pump. Again, I'm just letting you know, if we cross that blue ring, expect a lot more upside. We crossed it, we pumped. We crossed it, we pumped. Over here, we crossed it and we pumped, right? Every time we cross one of these blue rings, we know we get a pump. This is a video I put out where I said we were down around 15,000, 16,000. I said, look, this is a point to go long, because we crossed this blue ring. I know if we cross this blue ring, well, even if we come down and we go sideways, we just cross this blue ring, we're going to go much higher. That being said, if we cross the orange ring, expect some downside. That played out here. Yes, we pushed up a bit here, but notice this blue ring resistance to push us down. So we are getting close to this move. I would like to show you something. So, and we'll come back to this chart. Actually, let me grab this here. You'll notice it says M1 line. This yellow line is actually the line from this M1 chart where we got stopped, where we got rejected and came down. So this is your next major resistance. And if you look at the heat maps, the book maps, it is amazing the confluence where the sell orders are right at this target. But if this yellow line, I have it on the Bitstamp 3.0 chart. So if you have access to the charts, the Bitstamp 3.0 chart is the one you want to have up. So you see this yellow line, we got rejected, I added the M1 line to it. Notice this white line here. This is the M1 line from this chart right here. This is the next key fib channel line where possibly, again, if we get above it, expect a massive pump. If we get rejected at this point, we can see a lot of downside pushing us down to this orange ring. But I would like to show you, if I take this blue ring right here, I just want to show you the confluence with this blue ring. We've never crossed one of these blue rings and not pumped. If I copy this and paste it over this M1 chart, take note that this blue ring matches completely with this next fib channel line. That's how important this line is right here as resistance, as well as this blue ring. And again, the timing, now the apex, all right, so if we drop down, right, so if we just measure from here and go sideways, we are about 28 days from the apex. So that person that said the rings are broke, no, we're not even near the ring yet. So I'm just showing you how to play this. Price could come back down. I'll give you the support levels. We can get a bounce. This is a key support level right at the center Bollinger Band on the daily. We could push right back up to this point. We could get rejected here and come down. If we get above this point, more than likely we are going to cross this blue ring, and that means we are going to get one epic pump. I just know that until we cross this blue ring could act as resistance. And if it sends us down and we cross this means we could have an epic drop. So we are still a good ways from that ring. I had also mentioned in the previous video about this red ring. If you'll notice this red fib circle right here, we pushed above it, and I said that was very possible. All I was saying was previously this red ring was a point where the pump stopped and we chopped and went sideways and down. You can see that on this chart. Notice this red ring right here. Let me highlight this ring right here. Once we hit it, notice we got a pump. It's a line drawing, you can't see the candles, but we got a pump, right? As soon as we crossed this ring, we went sideways and down. Well, guys, we are at the top of this wedge, so we're at a critical point. Either we get rejected and start coming down, and this blue ring will be resistance. That means when we cross, if we cross this orange ring below, then we are headed down. That means it's more likely we're going to break down from this rising wedge. Now, some of you might be, if most people that watch my channel look for entry points too long and short. If you're hodling and you don't care if we drop down to 15,000, which would be, a double bottom here, or if we drop lower to 12,000, if that's not an issue to you, then stay in. No one's telling you to sell. I'm just telling you what I see in the charts. I see that we're in a large rising wedge, right? Support, resistance, so we're at a key point. If we push above, we know we have a lot more upside. However, this is the point where either we're going to start dropping and this is going to play out as a very bearish move, or we push up, we cross this, and we go higher. Now, I will give you key support and resistance levels to pay attention to. I just want to make it very clear. We are in a rising wedge. Typically, a rising wedge breaks to the downside more often than to the upside. Does not mean it can't break to the upside. Again, I'm just letting you know that we're at a very key point, and we're getting close to this apex. We know if we cross the blue ring, we get a hell of a pump. We know that if we start coming down, we cross this orange ring, we get a hell of a dump. You can see that on this chart very clearly. As far as key resistance levels, so I can tell you this, based on this chart, if we push up, all right, and again, if you look at the book maps, it is absolutely insane. So obviously, if we push up, today or tomorrow, you're looking at 38,180. Again, on my charts, red means short, but it looks like a top. So if we started bouncing and chopping, it looks like a top would be around 38,635. This is such a key resistance level, and I'm just telling you, when you have fib channel lines and fib circles and resistance levels, and if you look at the book maps and all of these targets match, you know that if you get a chance, if price pushes up 38,635, that is an ideal point to short. Your next key support level, and I'll show you some more on some other charts that match. Your next support level, right, is right here at 36,329. If you hit that point, great point to potentially long. If that breaks, well, we're headed all the way down to 34,700. But keep in mind, again, we're a good ways from this blue ring and a good ways from this orange ring. As I've said in previous 5-6 videos, if we cross this blue ring, we moon. If we cross this orange ring first, that means we have a lot of downside. For this to play out, yes, it makes sense that for us to cross this first, right? This ring right here, let me grab my brush tool. For us to cross this ring first, we need to start moving down from this point. I mean, even if we push up, we have a lot of downside, right? Because we're a lot closer to the blue ring than we are the orange ring. So for my analysis to play out, for us to have a major crash, we need to start going sideways and down from here. If we start going sideways and up and do not get rejected around 38,600, more than likely we're going to cross this blue ring and have a major pump. I do think it's much more likely that this blue ring will act as resistance, so it's important to see where we go from here. If we are pretty much topped out around 38,000 and come down from this point, I do think the bearish call will play out. But I'm just trying to show you, you have two scenarios that can play out, but you have a roadmap to know which one will happen. If you cross a blue ring, we go up. If we cross the orange ring, we go down. So it looks like this would be a point to be topped out. Again, I'm going to give you some key resistance levels. This is the H1 chart. Again, I create charts in multiple ways, and when you have matching targets, that gives you an idea where to short. So if you had access to the H1 chart and the M1 chart, again, this chart here, you knew exactly where to put in a short, right here at 37,857. I think some exchanges went to 38,000 almost. And on this chart right here, we topped out right at this point. You had a perfect point to short. Notice price came back down to the next, this actually became resistance, right? So your closest resistance now to short is 37,332. If you break 36,636, well, your next point to potentially put in a long, again, scalp long, 35,843. And your next strongest support below, this is going to be very strong support, 35,318. If that breaks, we have a lot more downside. Again, this has been a very, look at this red line. Look how much support and resistance this line has been. That's how key it is. So your most key support level to pay attention to is 35,318. Once we get below that, it is much more likely we have a lot more downside. In the meantime, as I said, if we push up, watch 38,400 to potentially, again, this depends when you make contact. You know, if it's today, again, 38,200, 38,400, like I showed you on the other chart. But it looks like if we push up, the ideal point to put in a short is 38,681, around that area. If we get above that, chances are we're going a lot higher. But if we get rejected from this point, as I've shown you on this chart, guys, we are ready to get an epic move, and we are a good ways away, all right? So, and remember, if we push up, we can cross this blue ring a lot sooner. If we drop, we can cross this orange ring a lot sooner. Right now, you know, we are about maybe 16, 17 days from the blue ring at current price. If we push higher, we get closer. If we drop, we get closer to the orange ring. All I can tell you is this is a rising wedge. It's potentially a bearish pattern, and we have two fib circles. We have a blue fib circle that can be a resistance, yet if we cross it, we expect a pump. We have never crossed a blue ring and not got a pump. And then we have these orange rings where historically, when we cross it, we get an epic drop. This was one point where we did cross it, pushed up a bit, but then we had a major drop. Notice we crossed the blue ring, we pumped. So it does look like we're set up for a trap. Everybody's getting bullish, prices pushing up. These other YouTubers are calling for 40,000, 50,000. People are now starting to go long. I'm just warning you that it looks like this is a trap. But if we do get above this blue ring, again, I was in a long hedge, now I'm only in a short. So if we do push up and we cross this blue ring, I will close my short, take my loss that I'm in right now, and I will go long. In the meantime, I'm holding my short because I'm playing this for a bigger move. If we drop from this point, guys, if we drop from this point and we break this, we could be heading all the way back down to our at least where we push from up in that blue ring, which is about a 57% move. If we drop more, it could be a 70% move. So again, I'm playing the long game based on how this chart plays out. We're getting close to the rings, but we are not there yet. So again, we could get some chop, guys. It is very possible. I gave you key levels to pay attention to. As I mentioned, when we come down, we could get a bounce on this orange ring. One last pump before we cross it. But again, I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen because I don't know. But I do know this, and I do know this for a fact. We have never crossed one of these blue rings and not got a pump. And historically, whenever we cross one of these orange rings, we get a dump. So I hope this helps. You have your support resistance levels to pay attention to. Again, take a screenshot if you need to. If you want to get access to these live charts and our Discord, you can sign up. The website is opticalcrypto.com. Links pinned in the first comment description. And if you want to get into trading, guys, again, Bitget, the link's pinned in the first comment description. Watch this tutorial video. I put a link up too. It'll also be pinned in the first comment description. And if you're located in the US and you're into leverage trading, and BingX and CoinCash is a good option. Those links are pinned in the first comment description as well. So again, I will keep you guys posted, but we are still a good ways from this blue ring and this orange ring. But a big move is coming soon. I will keep you updated. That's it, guys. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.